Hey folks, this is Dave Gleason from Athletic Revolution, just south of Boston, Massachusetts, and today I want to talk about assessing young athletes. You know, from time to time at the IYCA, we get some really great questions, and this was one of them. And it's, how do you assess kids in a larger group setting? That's a really loaded question, and I hope to add some clarity to that in the next couple minutes. First thing you need to think about is it a performance-based test that you're looking at? How fast can they run a certain distance, whether it's a 40, an agility test like a 5-10-5 or a T drill or an L drill? Is it some type of a power performance test, broad jumps, vertical jump? It all depends on what you want to do. What we really love to assess here is movement capability. So as outlined in our Youth Athletic Assessment certification through the IYCA, we look at the quality of their movements, and it's very subjective. So in other words, we look at little Johnny, we don't compare him to Jimmy, who's in the same age group. We want to see what is the best possible squat for his body type and his actual ability level at that time. So we use what's called the Big Five assessment, and it really details looking at an overhead squat, an alternating lunge, a push-up hold to a push-up depending on the age. We look at a prone extension, so we can look at some thoracic mobility and upper back strength in that sense, and balance, because we want to look at the coordination aspect of static balance and where they are with that. We layer them so they're more difficult depending on the age group. And what's really neat is it takes a minimal amount of time to go through that battery of 5 different assessments, but you get a great snapshot, a complete snapshot of that individual child. And it takes literally 3 to 5 minutes with a 6 to 9-year-old child, and for a 10 to 13-year-old young athlete, 5, maybe 8 minutes, depending on how much you're trying to break down barriers and really get to know that child and kind of create some type of an instant relationship with them so they feel comfortable. We assess every 3 months. That's really important to do because you want to be able to track progress. And again, now it depends on what you want to test. If you're looking to assess larger groups, there's no way around having a certain number of kids actual testing depending on the amount of staff that you have, and the rest of the group sitting or standing. And the younger the athletes, sometimes the more difficult that can be, because a child left unattended or in an area to just sit and watch will find something else to do. So, our priorities here are get them in and out as quickly as we can. When we reassess them, they already know what's going on, so it takes even less time. There's also, for larger groups, you'll see in the certification through the IYCA, Steve Long and Jared Wolver do a fantastic job of showing basically how to run an FMS for a larger group. So if you're working with teams, say the older kids who kind of understand the importance of it, and you've really dictated the culture and the attitude and the responsibilities they need to have as teammates, as being part of a team, fantastic. For your younger kids, though, I really recommend that you do 2 things. If you're going to do a formal assessment, 1 at a time, maybe 2 or 3 at a time at most. Outside of that, be a professional observer. Watch all the time in the context of your groups, whether you have 16, 20, 25 kids. Always watching, because then you can give them that little cue. We call it the eyeball effect. That little cue that they need to get better. And you just want them to get a little bit better every time they come into your facility or into your program in their movement capability. Because if that gets better, all those numbers, the performance-based numbers, get better as well. But you make sure you're really assured that from an injury resistance standpoint, that's at a very high level. And you're really going to see them start to perform. So I hope this adds some clarity to that question on how to assess large groups. In a way, I'm kind of saying, well, we don't do much of that, and it's just because of the time that we have with young athletes these days, and the experience that they're going to have by testing 1 at a time or 2 or 3 at a time. It's just a tough day, and believe me, I've done it for swim teams and large group club soccer organizations where they really wanted every single kid tested on 1 specific day, and you just have to battle through it. So I hope this adds some clarity. I hope you're having a great day. Keep being a game changer out there, and I hope to see you real soon.